ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां दयाकरं दयाकारं दान्तं धर्मप्रवर्तकं प्रणमामि दयानन्दं मदाचार्यवरं परम् ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Mantra 11. Atmanam aranim kritva pranavanchottaranim jnana nirmathanabhyasat pashan papam dahati panditaha. There is another reading, Pasham Dahati Panditaha. That is actually a better reading than Papam. Papam also okay, but Pasham is better because Pasha means shackles, ropes that bind is called Pasha. And so the example of the Arani goes better with Pasha because the fire that is created by this jnana abhyasa, in other words, nididhyasana, what happens? The ropes that bind are burnt away. It's more poetic that way. Pasham dahati panditaha. So we saw yesterday this whole imagery of the Arani. And what is this rubbing? The rubbing is basically eroding all the various notions that are attached to the body mind sense complex. I am this much alone, and even the basic assumption that this is also a notion. I am a woman, I am a man, all these are all notions, and that also has to be given up, because what gender is the Atma? No gender. That's why every sannyasi's name ends in Ananda, man or woman. So, to underscore this itself. No gender, no form, no name. And then who is the one who is understanding this? The one who is attached to every form, every name, everything. And so there is a whole lot of body identification. That has to be given up. There is identification with the mind, and so this rubbing means bringing in the Shastric words and sentences from the Shastra to rub out all these notions, to wear out the notions. The notions were there from many lifetimes ago. It's not that they were there today. It's not that they just started yesterday. They have been there. And they are well entrenched notions. This is who I am. This is how I have to be. There is Purusha, the person, which one is, which everybody is. The truth of everybody is what? Purusha. Sarvan Purayati iti. That which is not lacking in anything, that which is everything, that is who I am. But along with the Purusha, there is personality. There is the person to which the Shastra directs me towards. I have to discover this person, this nameless, formless, wantless, all glorious, limitless person I am. But why it takes so long to make this discovery? Why is it so hard? Because along with the person, what is there? Personality. The personality comes and goes. The personality keeps changing. And this personality is very well entrenched and it overlays the person so much so that one thinks I am as good as the personality. This is how I am. Why do you get so angry? I can't help it. This is how I am. Take it or leave it. Take me or leave me. And what will people say? Okay, I leave you. That's what they will say. I don't. Why? Because I don't want to deal with your anger. So, all the things, not only raga, dvesha, but even subtle things, subtle identifications. Each time you find yourself saying, this is how I am, this is how my nature is, watch out. Start rubbing. Start rubbing asangoham and purushoham, atma aham. And I am free of, you can know, don't even need to know Sanskrit. You can say it in English. I am free of raga dvesha, I am free of whatever notion that comes up. Oh, but this is a very small thing, it's an objective notion. It's not an objective notion. The words objective and notion cannot be used in the same sentence together. Not possible. If it's notion, that it is notional means it is subjective. And so the mithya overlay of the personality eclipsing the person makes it difficult to discover the person even after years of Vedanta study. And that's why this exercise is given in terms of nididhyasana, to wear out unwelcome notions. These notions have already worn out their welcome, and we help them to leave by identifying more and more with asanga, the one who has vairagya, the one who is asanga, the one who is free of all notions, and the one in whose presence all the notions come. And so you can take the rubbing, or we can take the example of a rock in the middle of the ocean. Sometimes there is a rock just a little ways away into the sea in the ocean, and then what happens to it? The waves keep crashing and crashing and crashing. And then after a few centuries, what happens to it? It becomes a Shivalinga. Smooth. Smooth. It loses the angular edges and becomes smooth. And there is an even better example underneath the Narmada river. What is there? Lots of stones are there. And Mother Narmada rocks them back and forth. You don't see what is happening, but all those angular stones become smooth. And there are special divers that go and bring out a Shivalinga. This is called Banalinga. So that is what the magic of the water crashing against it every day, rocking the stone. The stone also loses its angular, ragged edges, jagged edges. What to talk of? The Jiva. You are not a stone. And so if a stone can change its shape, stone means that which is set in stone. The stone can change the shape, what to talk of you? So therefore the whole thing here is that the personality of being a certain way in the world is dropped. Thinking that this is Atma, this is myself, that is slowly dropped. And the crashing water, the waves, whether it's the river waves or the ocean waves, they are akin to the jnana bhyasa or nididhyasana, recalling the words and putting this person, this personality under a waterfall of the words of the Upanishad, so that all the ragged, jagged, angular edges of the personality are smoothed out, and what remains is only the person. Very beautiful. So this is nirmathanabhyam, the constant churning, the constant crashing of the waves. And to show that it's a process, it says nirmathanabhyam is repeated doing that. Then what happens? Pasham dahati panditaha. The pandita loses the ropes of bondage. Pandita means the one of self-knowledge loses the ropes of bondage, because the ropes are what? Mithya. And so, again an example derived from the Mundakopanishad, and the next few verses will be just plagiarisms from the Mandukya Upanishad and the Mundakopanishad. Let us see. Sa eva maya parimohitatma शरीरमास्थाय करोति सर्वं स्त्र्यन्नपानादिविचित्रभोगैः स एव जाग्रत्परितृप्तिमेति. After talking about Nididhyasana, the Upanishad takes a little bit of a turn to introduce the Atma in yet another way, from some using an example that is up close and personal, using a kind of a personal example. And what is the most personal example? Sleeping, dream and waking. That is the most intimate to me, not only to one person, but universal example, yet the most intimate example, because it is not outside the ken of everyone's experience. Everybody experiences this. And so this is exactly how to understand the Atma as is taught in the Mandukya Upanishad. The Mandukya Upanishad opens with the statement that this Atma has 4 feet, 4-footed Atma. Oh, puppy, kitten. No. Feet means pada. 4 feet or 4 parts. Ayyo, you said Atma has no parts. And now the Mandukya Upanishad, the most celebrated Upanishad, what does it say? It has 4 parts. As though, okay, yeah, as though it has 4 parts. Soyam Atma Chatushpat. Even an animal is known as Chatushpat. But here, what kind of an animal is this Atma is going to be revealed very soon, because through these wonderful examples of sleeping, dreaming and waking. And the first example given is that of the waking experience. Hopefully everyone is right now having the waking experience and can assimilate what is being said. So, who are you now? Waker. I am the waker. And this waker is called Vishwa in the Upanishad. Why Vishwa? Because he is both Karta and Bhokta. Only in the waking state you are both Karta and Bhokta, as we will see. You are a Karta, you are a Bhokta. Now, where are you a Karta, Bhokta? Waking state. In the waking state, you are Karta and Bhokta, and then what else? We have to see that that's why it is called Vishwa, because you have various experiences. Many and varied experiences are there. Vishwa means the total. You are a total person in the waking state. No, nothing is denied to you. Kartrutvam is there, Bhoktritvam is there, doership is there, experiencership is there. It's a total experience, therefore it is called Vishwa. You wake up and then you are related to the total. The individual Vishwa, the individual waker, is related to the total. What is the total? The total waking world. So if supposing you woke up tomorrow and there is nothing, No time, no space, nothing, no objects. It would be most discombobulating. But here, it's almost like it's in a comic. So first you draw the character, whatever the character is, and then everything is just blank. There is nothing around it. The character is standing there. And then what does the cartoonist do? The cartoonist draws trees, birds, sun, ground, etc. and situates the character in the comic. So it's like that. So first you are awake, but then you are already situated. And that in which you are situated is called Virat. Virat is the totality of the waking experience. So the individual waker, Vishwa, is already related to the total waking experience called Virat. So the waking world is called Virat. Very nice. You can see how this happens. It's like if you put a kind of a drone camera on a city at 4 o'clock in the morning, 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. What is happening? Nothing. Everybody is fast asleep in their beds. Only Naktancharaha are moving, nocturnal things are moving. Not the people who sleep in the night, they are not moving, nothing is there. It looks like a ghost town. Only ghosts are moving perhaps. They are invisible, thank God. So we don't have to deal with them. And so nothing is moving. Not even an ant is moving. Let's say the air is also still, nothing is moving. And you keep the drone there on the city square, and then suddenly you see one person pushing one thela, one cart, parking it there, opening the things. One pan comes out. He has already brought water also in the cart. Water he puts it on. And then from the other corner you see milk boy comes, milk person, delivery person. First packet goes to this thela wala, the person who is about to make the tea in this little moving cart. He gets the milk, cuts open the milk packet, pours the milk into this pan and pumps. There's a little stove. You have to pump it. Most dangerous thing in the whole world. But anyhow, you have to keep pumping it and then lighting it. And then he lights it. He puts the pan on it. And then wait a minute. You were so enamored by the tea fellow, chai wala, that you missed completely two ladies coming with baskets and starting weaving the garlands. Why? Just behind there is a temple. So they also want to make their money. And they are also weaving the garlands. Suddenly, where did they come from? All of a sudden they are here. And then a few birds say it's time to wake up. The birds start to chirp. And the chirping birds are there suddenly. They were not there before. Suddenly somehow they came. And then where was the sun? There was no sun. But then it's a summer day, getting close to the longest day of the year, and the sun also suddenly makes its presence felt. You don't quite see the sun, but suddenly it is light outside. Little bit of light, dim light is there. And then before you know it, traffic, pedestrians, people who walk, people who are all about, people who are here and there, everywhere, all of these things are there. And suddenly what do you find? Everything is awake. So like that, the totality of the waking world, so it's almost like everything in sleep is suspended. Narathaha, the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad says, Narathinaha, there are no chariots, there are no owners of chariot. In sleep there is no awareness, I am an owner of a BMW. Nobody thinks like that in sleep. But suddenly, as you wake up and stretch, the world also wakes up and stretches. And then there is the waking world to which you are related. And in fact, the waking world orients you. Otherwise, it would be a very discombobulating, disorienting experience. The waking world orients you, puts you in touch with yourself. In relation to the waking world, you are what? Waker, the individual waker, Vishwa. Then what happens? You go to sleep. You go to sleep, and the whole world also what? Goes to sleep. You can, the example I gave just now, you can do that in reverse. Let's say everybody has gone home. Even there are no rag pickers, there's nothing on the streets. The streets suddenly become empty, deserted. And that is the sleep state. There is no identification with anything except ignorance. Sleep state is akin to moksha. Are you a doer in sleep? No. Are you an experiencer in sleep? Yes. What are you experiencing? Ananda. Ananda you are experiencing. But alas, because of the prevalence of ignorance, the overwhelming prevalence of ignorance and the total identification with the Karana Sharira, the causal body, there is no memory or no real-time enjoyment of this Ananda. If that were not there, you don't need Vedanta at all. All you need to do is go to sleep. No Vedanta, so easy. What to do? Go to sleep. Moksha. But alas, that's not the case. Why? Because in sleep, even though you have moksha, you are free, you don't know it because of the identification with Karana Shariram. In sleep, there is that. And then what happens in dream? Half awake. Ardha Vikasaha. Kartritvam is there in dream as though. Bhoktritvam is there in dream fully. Kartritvam is negated when you wake up. But in dream you are doing things. Even though in reality you are not doing anything, there is no kartritvam. From the waking state we can say there is no kartritvam in dream. But for the dreamer is also happily going around doing things, enjoying things in the dream. The dream is the regurgitation of your own memories and your own desires and your own prarabdha. A diabetic, while awake, watches sadly as the whole ashram is treated to gulab jamuns. So sad. And they offer this person also, please have. No, I can't have. Goes to sleep. And then in the dream, swimming in a vat of rasgullas, this person is. Yeah. Glub, 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 ahaha, wonderful. Are you a diabetic in the dream? Not at all. Not at all. So the vasana that could not be fulfilled. Either the person is swimming in the rasagulla juice or the gulab jamun syrup, or the person is rolling around in laddus. Another dream. Fully rolling around on a mountain of laddus, rolling down a mountain of laddus, with candies and chocolates as lampposts on either side, in this make-believe land which is all sweet, 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 sweet. Where the river flows, oh Gangaji in the dream, no, a river of chocolate, a chocolate river flows, and all I have to do is just go like that. Fantastic. So in dream what happens? Vasana, the desire. The dream is desire and memory. Where is the memory? The memory of being deprived of gulab jamuns all of one's life. Especially if it is type 1 diabetes. All of one's own life, You can't have this, you can't do this, you can't eat this, you can't do this, all this. You have to be very careful of your diet. And in dream, the person can let loose these vasanas. Dream also memories. So certain painful memories haunt. It's called, what is it called? PTSD. What does it stand for? Post-traumatic stress disorder. PTSD. Meaning that it's like a flashback. The pain happened a long time ago. The neglect happened a long time ago. The abuse happened a long time ago, but it is deciding to visit now with a vengeance. This is what is PTSD. So, in the waking state also it comes, PTSD. And in the waking state, you have to take care of it with therapy, and therapy is very good for this. And other exercises, writing it out, all these things. And in the dream state also, the PTSD comes in the form of nightmares, difficult memories. These are the raw materials of the dream. Dream also, they say, expends or exhausts some amount of prarabdha. How does it exhaust prarabdha? It exhausts prarabdha in a very interesting way. Because supposing there was in one's karma, there was incarceration. Incarceration means being locked up was there in the karma. But the person, through the sheer dint of their hard work and everything, became a very dharmic person. Very dharmic person. Total rule follower, won't do anything out of the book. Very dharmic person. Now the karma gods are in a fix. How to send this person to jail, because they are not doing anything wrong. And the hope that they will do something wrong is also not there. So therefore, in the dream, one feels like one has stolen something in a shop, one dreams, and then one goes to jail. Karavasa karma means the jail karma is exhausted in the dream itself. Very interesting, this dream. So in the waking state, one is both karta, bhokta. In the dream state, even though one thinks one is karta, one is really a bhokta. In the sleep state also one is bhokta. Soyam atma chatushpat. So when we talk about the dreamer, the individual dreamer is what? Is not an actual person. It's just a different body. You don't and you cannot use this body to experience dream objects. To experience dream objects, you need a dream body. That's why this body is left behind, even while you dream. It is protected. Brihadaranyaka says, nobody can take it away. Even Lord Yama can't come in the middle of a dream. The body is guarded and protected. Otherwise, each time you had a dream, the body would disappear from the bed and then come back when the dream was finished. Or if the dream suddenly ended, you will find yourself in America, because that's where you wished you were and that's what you were dreaming of. And then from there you will be instantly deported, because no passport and no visa, nothing, you have just ended there, ended up there without invitation. And so like this, in the dream, you have to have a dream body. It's a subtle body. It's not visible even to you except in the dream. Even though the body that you give yourself in the dream very much looks like this body that you have, but it is qualitatively different. Because this body is what? Gross body. That body is a subtle body. Subtle body. It's almost like a hologram. Do you know what a hologram is? It's just like if you project a body of light. It looks like that person, but you can go like that, go through them. It's not solid. So similarly, the dream body that experiences the dream is a special body of light and radiance. Therefore, the individual dreamer is called Taijasa. Taijasa. Taijasa means light, all light. And then the Taijasa is related to the dreaming world, the world that governs the dream and controls the dream, etc. And that total dreaming world is called, the total subtle world is called Hiranyagarbha. Ishvara in the form of the Sukshma Prapancha, the total subtle world, subtle universe. Because in dream all the experiences are subtle, they are not really taking place. You may dream of your friends, but they are not really there. But the dream is great, because even if somebody was blind at birth, in the dream you can see. The person can see. Like this, the dream is a place where you identify with the subtle body. The sthula sharira is forgotten on the bed, held in suspense for you to come back. But you travel in the dream using a subtle body and then experience the subtle universe of all kinds of names and forms and wonderful experiences. And then after dream you can either wake up or go back to sleep. Let's say you go back to sleep. What is left? Sleeper. Sleeper is the one who upon waking up says, I don't know anything. Did you know you had moksha in sleep? No. Did you know you were all ananda? No. Sleep is not remembered, except the only memory of sleep is, I don't know anything. Meaning what? I know that I don't know anything. That's all that there is. The general I know prevails, and in the sleep, the jiva, the individual sleeper, is identified with the karana sharira. What is karana sharira? Ignorance, self-ignorance. Total identification with karana sharira and sukshma sharira during dream, sthula sharira during waking. And where is this? So these are the three padas. Where is the fourth pada? That which travels through these three padas is the so-called fourth. And the Mandukyam Upanishad says, Chaturtham manyante. Manyante means they consider it's not really the fourth. But people who don't know consider this to be the fourth. What is this? Na antah prajnaha, na bahish prajnaha. It is not inwardly, it doesn't know everything inside, it doesn't know everything outside. It's not only inwardly focused, not only outwardly focused. Na prajnana ghanaha. It's not an inward facing consciousness, it's not an outward facing consciousness, it's not ubhayatah prajna, it is not both inward and outward facing consciousness, and it is not prajnana ghana, it's not a mass of consciousness, it is not it is not agnya, it is not consciousness, it is not inert. And what is it? It is that which is all of these things, and no, not any one thing in particular. It is that which upholds the waking state, the dream state, the sleep state, and is free of all that, at once free of all that. This is the Chaturtham, Soyam Atma Brahma. Ayam Atma Brahma. This is where the Mahavakya is given. Ayam Atma Brahma. And what is this? The Turiya. This Turiya is called Atma. This Turiya is not the fourth one. Chaturtham iti manyante. They consider this because they count the 3 states of experiences and they consider this beyond the 3 states of experiences. So it has got the name of the 4th, but it is not the 4th. It is that because of which every other state comes 4th. That way it is in every state, but it does not become that state. And so with this introduction, let us look at the meaning of the next verse. Saha eva means this Atma. Saha eva Atma mayaya parimohitaha. Saha eva Atma mayaya parimohitaha. This Atma alone. Which Atma? This Atma that is under discussion. It is parimohitaha. Paritaha mohitaha. Deluded all round. By what? Maya. Mayaya, third case. So mayaya parimohitaha. Deluded all round. Fully deluded. There is not one single area in the head where the delusion is not there. So this one that is deluded by Ajnanam, Maya Shakti here, is the one that is called Jiva. Sa eva Atma, this is Atma alone. Somebody was asking what's the difference between Atma and Jiva. This is the difference. Saha eva Atma Mayaya Parimohitaha. That which is completely covered, as it were, by Maya. What is Maya? Ignorance here. So Mayaya Parimohitaha. Shariram Asthaya. Living in this body. Asthaya also means completely, what is the word for it? Identified. Totally identified with this body. Shariram Asthaya Sarvam Karoti. All the tasks are accomplished. The Atma now has become doer. Karoti Sarvam. Shariram Asthaya. The identification, the strong identification with this body is also because of what? Maya. What is this Maya? Ishvarasya Shaktihi. Ishvara's Shakti, all knowledge, all power, and so Ichha Shakti, the power to desire, Jnana Shakti, all knowledge, and then Kriya Shakti, the ability to create. This is Maya. Non-separate from Ishvara, and a Kalpita Shakti, and as though power. Mithya Bhuta Shakti. Mithya Bhuta Shakti, Kalpita Shakti, that which endows Brahman with the ability to create, the ability to sustain and take back everything. That Maya, what does it do? It covers the Jiva with ignorance. Because all knowledge is one side of Maya, which is facing Ishvara. Alas, the other side of Maya facing the Jiva is what? All ignorance. Why? Because Maya has 2 Shaktis. What are they? Avarana. Avarana. The power to cover. The covering power. The veiling power is called Avarana. What is the veiling power? The veiling power is that which makes everyone in samsara veil. That's what is called veiling power. So the covering power makes me not understand that I am one with Ishvara, Avarana. And then what is the other power? Vikshepa, the projective power. The projective power does not harm one, does not harm me at all. It is Ishvara Srishti. The one is as though made into many, 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 many. The one is as though made into many, but I, who is under the spell of which power? The first power, do not recognize that oneness hidden in everything. Because I am identified with the Avarana. Avarana has to be removed. How is Avarana removed? Atmajnanena. avaranasya nivrittihi. The removal of avarana is only by atmajnanam. What about removal of vikshepa? How to remove vikshepa? Huh? It won't go. Let it be. Yes. Let the vikshepa be, because you did not create the vikshepa. So let it be. It's okay. Vikshepa will not bother if avarana is gone. When avarana is gone, I am one with everything anyway, and so if I see 10 more trees, it's not going to make any difference. The world becomes not any longer a scary place. What kind of a place it is? It is now a joyous place full of ananda. Because Brahman, the creator of the universe, is nothing but ananda. The world also shares the DNA of Brahman, Sat Chit Ananda. World is Satchidananda. Brahman is Satchidananda. I, the onlooker of the world, also Satchidananda. I see that. I see that I am not different from the world at all. And so this avarana has to go, because the avarana creates problems and creates differences, alienation between myself and myself. The adult self does not acknowledge the child self. The child self does not acknowledge the adult self. There is a split. The angry self does not acknowledge the calm self. So there is a split. There are many splits within me, number one, and then number two, there are also splits between me and other jivas. Second split, second kind of alienation because of avarana. And then the third kind of alienation is between me and the jagat. There is a split, there is a separation. And finally, between me and Ishvara. Jiva, Jagat, Ishvara. Between me and Ishvara, a big Grand Canyon like separation, huge separation. And this separation is what causes anxiety, the separation is what causes sorrow, and the separation has to be taken care of, for which reason the avarana has to be taken care of. When I see separation, when there is no separation, it has now, the ajnanam has become a psychological problem. It has to be dealt with. It has to be inundated with the Shastra Jnanam, so that all these ideas, I am separate, etc., do not come into the mind at all. Otherwise, I am separated from, I am alienated from myself. I don't know who I am. I don't know what the Jagat is. I don't know what the Jivas are. Forget Ishvara, who is that? I don't even know. Like this, one is alienated and sad from everything. This is the so-called Vakar. And to frantically get rid of the sorrow, I keep doing something or the other, hoping that it will get rid of the sorrow. I only find a temporary solution as a result of my doings, whereas I want to be permanently free. I can only forget the sorrow for some time, and again it is back. So therefore I have to be permanently free. And so here, this is the Vakar, who is ignorant. Shariram asthaya karoti sarvam. Stri means what? Woman. Anna, all kinds of food. Pana means drink, all kinds of various exotic looking drinks, and then different fruit juices. And then what else? Adi padat. Adi means etc. So you can bring in other things also. You can bring in other experiences. You can bring in going river rafting, going hiking. All these things you can bring in. Adi, etc. Vichitra bhogaihi. Through vichitra bhogas. Bhoga means enjoyments. Bhoga here is objects of enjoyments. Vichitra means peculiar, many and varied. One meaning of vichitra, another meaning is very peculiar. You cannot account for tastes. What all will people eat? It's amazing. In fact, we should say, what all will people not eat? And in very, very difficult. Nothing is left out. That which creeps and crawls, swaha. That which swims, swaha. That which flies, swaha. That which jumps around, swaha. That which walks, 4-footed, 2-footed, swaha. Nothing is left out. That which flies, swaha. Vichitra bhoga. Some kind of an exotic restaurant with an exotic dish. In fact, the more exotic the restaurant and the more expensive the restaurant, the more hungry you come out. Yeah, really. First of all, the price itself gives a little mild heart attack after seeing the price. And then there was one interfaith conference in Spain. I went there, and then they said, oh, we have some 5-star chefs for you today, special experience for all the religious leaders who lead very drab lives, who are just stuck in ashrams and who don't get out much, ashram seminaries, they just lead a boring life. So we thought we will show you how the top 1% of the world lives. This is a very expensive place and very expensive chefs. So then waited. 1 hour they have not brought anything, and just sat there. And next to me, one padre was there, one father from Washington DC, who kept pricking and checking his blood sugar because he was hungry. He had already taken his insulin, thinking that the food will come. And then nothing is happening. No food came. Then finally these big plates came. Everybody thought, aha, let us just eat. And also, religious leaders, we sleep early. We just sleep early, we wake up early. So one father was checking blood pressure, and next to him, I forgot what religion he was openly dozing off at the table. Poor thing, it was past his bedtime. It was very clear. Then these big plates came, and then it was put. And then I looked into mine, vegetarian, right? I said, yes, vegetarian. So there was just one, I don't know what it was, one small piece of something. And over that, one small trimmed palak leaf, like little spinach. Okay. And then next to that, literally, 3 drops of what is that called? Balsamic vinegar, whatever that is. Balsamic vinegar, 3 drops. And on this side, some kind of a cream, cashew cream, that had been made into an abstract design. Yeah. I said, this is dinner? Yes. But then everybody, other people, it was the appetizer, but it was really not even an appetizer. It was too small to be called an appetizer. And the main dish was not much better. If you know what a thimble is, right? Yeah. If you take a thimble and fill it with rice and upturn it, so like that there were 3-4 mounds. One is brown rice, one is white rice, one is red rice, one is something else, like that. 4 or 5 mounds in a circle with a few greens around them, and then something else in the middle. Sweet potatoes, orange, little bit of sweet potatoes in the middle, like this. But then it is Vichitra Bhoga. This is what is called Vichitra Bhoga. And then we came out, it was 10 o'clock, almost 11 o'clock, and then all of them said, let's go to our hotel and order one pizza before going to sleep, because this has not done anything. And the dessert wasn't much better. Some small little candy, piece of candy and a surrounding something, and then some little something, what is that called? Fruit pellets, something. And a little sauce with a little flourish, yeah. And everybody was continuing to be hungry because you didn't know whether anything else was coming or not, but nothing else came. Only these 3 things came. And then after that, whoever wanted ordered a pizza and went to bed. So Vichitra Bhoga includes this. Vichitra Bhoga also includes various thrilling sports. What is that called? Zip lining. Yeah. Zip lining, you know what that is? Yeah, you pretend you are one of those wooden khatolas that is going on that line. And like you see in Haridwar, you go to Mansa Devi temple, you go to Chandi Devi temple, and you have to climb it in that little lift with that little ski lift kind of a thing. And then instead of that, you have a hook and a string, and then you just go zip lining. Another, only in the waking state you can do and enjoy that thrill. And going on this roller coaster, everybody screams, ah! But then it is some kind of a Vichitra Bhoga. And then they also visit some things. I don't know why they do this to themselves. Haunted castle. Why you have to go there? Stop! No, I want to visit haunted castle. And in every room something jumps at you and you scream. That's all it is. And you come back thoroughly rattled. And not only that, you pay for it, okay? You pay to have this experience. Where the buddhi goes, I don't know. But anyhow, this is Vichitra Bhoga, all kinds of various things you had never heard of that you can enjoy. Why? Because you are a waker, you have this body. This is the beauty of being the waker. You can go in search of more and more exotic experiences. Just going hiking is not enough. You have to go hiking on that particular mountain range. Just getting married is not enough. You have to have a destination wedding. And make all the people that you have invited spend through their nose just to see you get married. And all these things, Vichitra Bhoga, and through all this Vichitra Bhoga, the person lives. And then Sa eva, so Stri means woman. Here we can take woman, man, everything. So this is usually the Upanishad, talks in the masculine form. But we have to take it for both. So Stri means any object of delight. And so Stri, partner, Annapana, food, drink, etc. And all these other Vichitra Bhogas, Saha eva Jagrita. Jagrit, that this person is known as the waker, and in the Jagrit avastha means in the waking state, Paritriptim eti means enjoys. Paritriptim means paritaha, all round becomes contented. For how long? Until the next enjoyment desire comes in the heart. So this contentment must not be taken to be what? Atma, okay? Yeah, this is just a so-called contentment for the time being. And then the person is now in the dream state. Swapne sajiva sukha dukkha bhokta. Swamayaya kalpita jiva loke. सुषुप्ति काले सकले विलीने तमोभिभूत सुख रूपमेति. So identified with the body, the person is called Sthula Bhuk. Bhuk means bhunkte iti bhuk. Sthula Bhuk means what? The person who enjoys gross experiences. Experiences at the gross level using the gross body is called Sthula Bhuk. Mandukya Upanishad's words. Sthula Bhuk, while one is awake. And then while one is asleep, meaning dreaming, in the dreaming state, let us see the translation here first. Swapne saha eva jivaha, this jiva, which one? The one that is identified with the waker, the body, mind, sense complex, and the karta. Saha eva jivaha, that jiva, the same jiva which comes under the spell of Maya in the waking state, sukha dukkha bhokta, also becomes the bhokta, the experiencer of sukha and dukkha, where in the subtle form becomes an experiencer of sukha and dukkha in the subtle form. How? Svamayaya. So there is the regular maya, correct? Regular maya means that which affects everybody. But the jiva also has avarna and vikshepa powers. The jiva also projects in the dream in keeping with the rules of the Ishvara's maya. The jiva's maya functions within Ishvara's maya and weaves this wonderful or horrible dream world, depending on whether you are having sweet dreams or a nightmare. So weaves this world of subtle experiences and other subtle bodies, and you also have, what is that? A subtle body. Everything is subtle. And your own maya, what is your own maya? We already talked about it. The combination of your memories, your desires, gives you the creative power, as it were, to order up a universe. Here is where the power stops. You cannot say, I want to order up a lovely dream universe. Otherwise you would have no nightmares. But nightmares exist, which means what? Which means that there is absolutely no control over what kind of dream I'll have. It's almost like the smaller maya, that power that I command, the smaller maya shakti that I command is operated by and controlled by the larger maya shakti, the total maya shakti of Ishvara. That's why I don't have a say over when I dream, how long the dream will be, but the power to dream is a little bit of my own maya along with Ishvara's maya, because they are my own desires, my own memories, vikshipta, projected in a subtle way and enjoyed or experienced, whatever the case may be. So swamayaya kalpita jiva loke means the events are projected in the dream state. It is all what is that? It is a imaginary loka. And then, so this is the dream state, and in the dream state the person is called pravivikta bhuk. What is the jiva called in the waking state? Sthula bhuk. And here called as pravivikta bhuk. Prakarshena viviktaha means distinct experiences. Means your dream will be only contoured towards you. Other person cannot have your dream. Your dream alone is your own dream, nobody else's dream it is. So it is called you are called in the dream, the dreamer is called pravivikta bhuk. And the dreamer Taijasa relates to Hiranyagarbha, the total subtle universe. And here the total gross universe and the experiencer Virat universe, and then Vishwa waker. Taijasa dreamer, and then what is the dreaming world called? Hiranyagarbha. Now, who is this Hiranyagarbha? Who is this Vishwa? Who is this Virat? Who is this Taijasa? It's all consciousness. Consciousness with the superimposition of the total subtle world is called Hiranyagarbha. Consciousness identified with a single dreamer is called Taijasa. Consciousness identified with a single jiva who is awake is called Vishwa. Consciousness as though identified with a gross world of names and forms is called Virat. Same consciousness. This is where the Mandukya excels. More we'll see tomorrow. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo